Hey, good morning and welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 739. Happy Sunday. I would have been on about 20 minutes sooner, but guess what? The old internet. What is wrong with my technology here? No, the Wi-Fi's actually been acting up the last couple days, and I think that is why. I think my signal strength, poor Wi-Fi connection the other day was why I was having issues within eBay. Because when I reached out to eBay support, they got into my back end and they're like, "Hey, everything on our end is working." And I'm like, "Well, it's sporadic on my end." They're like, "Well, we can't see anything." So it's have you cleared out your cookies, your cache, your all this technical mumbo jumbo? And I did a restart. That's the first thing I go to. Didn't work. I cleared all that crap out. Didn't work. So maybe it just requires more oomph with the internet. I don't know the technical term for that because other websites worked fine. It was only eBay that I was having issues with. But maybe it just requires more bandwidth or whatever the technical term is. And I was having Wi-Fi, and I think I continue having Wi-Fi issues. My satellite to the mesh network was red this morning, and I'm like, son of a bee. So I did a restart. I got on the Nighthawk app. It says I tested my internet speed. It says it's very extremely fast. So what the hell's going on? But it's blue. It's solid. We're streaming. Hopefully it's in HD quality or similar. But we're here. So good morning. Uncle Rich is with us. Good morning, Uncle Rich. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We've only got 2 viewers. It's a lazy Sunday. The Sunday after Thanksgiving, reviewing the Janesville Card Show. Brian is with us. Okay, we've got 2 with us now. Brian is with us. It's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Did the Janesville Card Show on Saturday. What else went on? So Friday, because I didn't go live yesterday, we'll recap what happened. Red Light 34, what's happening? Hello, Dan, what's up? We'll listen while doing lesson planning. That doesn't sound fun. Dan saw some nice deals on Best Buy's website this morning for cards. Yeah, Best Buy had some deals. That's actually where I bought 5 Bowman U blasters a couple of weeks ago from Best Buy, of all places. And I think they have that deal again on Bowman U for like $14. I'm kind of Bowman U blastered out. I've got 5 left on my shelf. I've got 5 still in the package that came from Best Buy. I don't know where it went, but I'll have to dig those out for the Couch People Christmas party on Saturday, December 10th. We went shopping live on Black Friday here on Hobby Evolution, and I was underwhelmed. And I'm like, maybe it gets better. And it didn't. Black Friday underwhelmed. And I'm really surprised. Last year, I wasn't surprised. Even so last year was 2021. 2020, I wasn't surprised that the deals kind of stunk because we were in the middle of the pandemic and stuff was selling. So I wasn't surprised by the lack of deals on Black Friday 2020 and 2021, but I was shocked at the lack of deals this year. Why? Well, we're in a recession. The card market is down. There's wax sitting 2020 and 2021. You couldn't find wax at Target and Walmart. Now it's everywhere. At least in like 90% of the stores, there's wax. And it's like just compounding. The unopened blasters sitting in Walmart back storage and shelving is just it's compounding because people aren't buying this, and there's another new product that people are not buying. So what's blowout? What are these retailers doing? Are they like, I don't want to say something that I shouldn't, but it's almost like they're just hoarding it, waiting for the next wax explosion because they probably got bit. They had such great deals in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and they blew it all out at a fraction of what it ended up selling for during the pandemic. And are they worried that they lose all that money on a potential next wax explosion, which there's probably going to be another wax explosion, but it's not going to be for a while, in my estimation, in my humble opinion. So I was shocked. I did not spend a dime on Black Friday. Did not spend a dime on Black Friday. Well, I did, but I bought into breaks. I bought into a couple Cubs breaks for Bowman Chrome. But as far as wax and cards for inventory and all that, didn't buy a thing on Black Friday. So I was very disappointed. I thought there were going to be some sales. Bowman U, I thought Bowman U hobby boxes would be as low as $60-$70. So I guess for my, I thought Bowman U, it's going to be big. That's actually, I mean, good for like my prediction. Bad for, I want to buy it because it's a fun rip and some hits will sell for a decent amount, but the lowest was $100. So staying firm. Blaster's got as low as 14. So I've opened enough that it's like, at 14, it doesn't trip my trigger. At $100, 2 months ago, I would have been all about $100 hobby boxes of Bowman U. Now it's like, it's kind of overstayed its welcome in my house. So, I'm Bowman U'd out. And I was looking at some other stuff. Oh, by the way, we were shopping and I thought, hey, that Topps Chrome case for $1,600, that's a good deal. You've got the Judge and Goldschmidt factor. You've got the silver packs that come with it. Some of those have been loaded. Thank you to Dan who steered me in the right direction. He's like, what could you do if you spent $16? That was a really insightful question. What would you do $1,600 if you spent $1,600 at a card show on inventory? Because that's what my buying a case of Topps Chrome, it would just be inventory. And it's like, you know what? Damn, that's a really good point. Because I know I could make way more buying bulk at a card show. $1,600 is going to go a lot longer than a case of Topps Chrome, and my margins are going to be much bigger buying stuff at a card show as opposed to gambling on a case of Topps Chrome. So thank you, Dan, for saving me $1,600. Now, could I have made money on it? Sure. But it might have only been $100, and $100 on $1,600 is razor thin margin. Profit's profit, but it's like, and I can't feed scan the Topps Chrome. So it would take me longer to list, like Heritage Miners. I finished sorting last night my case of Heritage Miners, which, by the way, somebody posted on Twitter, Topps Heritage Miners. They opened 3 hobby boxes of Heritage Miners, and they pulled 6 image variations out of 3 hobby boxes. So they got 2 per box. I think that's what, maybe they pulled more than that. I can't remember the number. Yeah, 6. I think it was 6 out of 3 boxes. I pulled 0 out of 12 boxes. My case did not have a single action image variation. I did pull a Colton Cowser image variation auto numbered out of 50, which I am sitting on an offer on that. I have it listed for $100. I sold the base auto for 20, so I'm thinking I might be able to get 100 out of this. I pulled in Ellie De La Cruz blue auto, so I was happy. But with Heritage Miners, my thoughts on that is it's the base. It's all about the base. And I can whip through, and what I'll do is the 188 base cards, because the 12 on the Cubs check, I think it's 12 on the Cubs checklist, personal collection. So the other 188 base cards, each one of those I'll feed through my scanner, upload it to eBay, and they'll have, now my collation was crazy. I had some cards that I only pulled 5 of each, or 5 copies of player X, player Y, 13 copies. My last box had a lot of duplicates, insane amount of duplicates. So the collation was way off. Like typically Heritage Miners is really well collated, and it's like you can expect, 9 or 10 of each player, and it's just how the odds work. And it's like very rarely do you have 8 or 11. But this year is, I mean, it's all over the place. 5 of this guy, 6 of this guy, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 13. So I'll have to go through and mark, each the number numerically, how many of Colton Cowser, how many of Ellie De La Cruz. Well, he's a short print, but anyway, you get the point. So it was all over the place with collation on Heritage Miners. And I am buying a second case that I'll pick up at the Madison Card Show December 17th from my buddy Tom at Real Breaks. So I'll open that around Christmas time and get those posted. I'm still sitting on some of last year's hobby boxes. And I'll open at least one during the Couch People Christmas party. So sitting on that. Let's go back into the chat. Who else do we have? We're going to review the Janesville Card Show that I set up at as a dealer yesterday. Janesville, Wisconsin. Clark, good morning to you. Shaw Cards, what's happening? Payne here in Columbus this morning. Oh yeah, that was a beatdown. I was somebody was at my table. Were you all like just way off your schedules this week? Now, and I made a comment to my wife I think it was Friday, because she's like, man, it feels like Sunday. And I'm like, it really does. And this is new to me. This is fairly new to me because typically I've always worked on Black Friday. Like I took a Black Friday off like once at my last job out of 7 or 8 years. But I always worked Black Friday, and it was like it was a total like screw off day. Like my boss let us leave at like 1:00 anyway, or 2:00. So it was like a clean your desk day. And it was, I've got blowoutcards.com on my web or probably on my phone. And I'm shopping and cleaning my desk, and then, it's 1:00, time to go home. And I'm going to do some more Black Friday card shopping. But there was like that separation, like, it's Thanksgiving night. I've got the routine, wake up in the morning, shower, go to work, come home from work, do my thing. And then, so last year was my first Thanksgiving doing cards and working from home full time. And I don't remember it being this weird. And I think now as I talk it out, I think I know why. Because last year I had the Madison Card Show, the Saturday of Thanksgiving. So I was like, it was more like I went to the, Black Friday, I went to the Sheraton, got the room ready for Saturday's show. And then I had Saturday's show. Even though I did do a show yesterday, it was, I was just a dealer driving down to Janesville. It was just, the whole weekend was off for me. I wake up this morning, it's like, what the hell day is it? Is it Monday? No, it's Sunday. So like I was even screwed up on my days at the show, and it was a little after 11:00. Yeah, it was like 11:30. The day went by really fast also. So it was like 11:30. Somebody was at my table. They're like, I think, is Michigan, Ohio State on? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm kind of in college basketball mode right now. So I have like, I've given up, especially Wisconsin. What a crap game they played against Minnesota. Anyway, so I looked at the score, and it's, wow, it's 10-10, good game. And then and nobody was talking about it at the show, which is a little strange. Not many people were talking college football around the show. So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings after the show for a late lunch, and a guy and his wife, all decked out in Michigan Wolverines gear, sat next to me. And I was watching Wisconsin, Minnesota was on the TV. I was watching that game. And so I'm like, Michigan win today? And he's like, oh yeah. And what was the final? Like 48-23, I think was the final score. So Shaw Cards, feeling some pain in Columbus, Ohio. Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? Good morning to you. Red Light 34 says you can ship all my cards out at the same time to save you on shipping. No, thank you. I've got enough. I think I came home to 231 items to ship. And I mean, that's all I did Friday, was ship, and, another 230, items to ship, last night. And, I got it down to like 160, but I'm back over 200 again. I did have some sales late night and in the overnight hours, some regular sales, but my sales were way down Saturday, which I was expecting because, hey, you run a 50% off volume sale and then it ends at midnight Friday night, you expect sales to dip. You dip, Daniel. So yeah, my sale, I didn't even reach my goal yesterday. Didn't even reach my goal number, which I was not surprised, because I blew it out of the water Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So where was I? Yeah. Let's see. We go back to, Monday I fell short, but then Tuesday I was almost double my goal. I was almost triple my goal on Wednesday. I more than tripled my goal on Thursday. I more than doubled my goal on Friday. And then I was about, 65% of my goal on Saturday. And it's been a slow start today, which I expect sales to be a little slow today as well. Let's see. Brian says Topps tricked me into $199 for a Chrome box. Ooh. Realized on eBay for $140 after. Hope silver pack not searched. I would be leery of buying Chrome boxes on eBay. For one, the silver packs, make sure the silver packs come with it. But also, there's always the potential that they're weighed or searched or whatever. Ed, good morning to you. By the way, Ed was on Friday night with Dan, Korean Cardboard, on the Korean Cardboard channel. Check that out. Great discussion with Dan and Ed on Friday night. Really enjoyed that. Victor's in the house. He is back from vacation. Where's Victor? Came to a cold, rainy Chicago. Go Blue. Victor is a Wolverine fan, and he is happy after yesterday's win. Paige and Deanie Bean in the house. Good morning to you. Dan says, with interest rates as high as they are, if businesses are borrowing to buy the product, they probably can't sell it at too low of a price. That's a good point, too. Actually, the only thing I bought on Black Friday card-wise was local card shop had Heritage Miners boxes at $55. Heck yeah, that's a good deal. Money was a lot cheaper to borrow for businesses the last 2 years. Yes, it was. Let's see. Rich says you used $20 of that $1,600 for that one-of-one Cubs card. Yes. So, oh crap, I forgot my. It's just right out in the hallway, so I'll have to step away here in a little bit to show off my pickups from Saturday. Andrew says $1,600 on wax is nutty. It's the gambling that the $1,600 value comes from, the adrenaline rush. Absolutely. And when you really start to break it down, it's like, well, the Judge and Goldschmidt chase, that adds $20 to a base card. And you think, and somebody mentioned it. I can't remember. Maybe it was on Twitter, but say you pull one per box. That's $20 times 12. That's what, $250, $240 if you get one per box. I don't know what the odds are, but if you get one, that's $240 back gross. If you hit a refractor, that's a little bit more. You get something in the silver pack, but then it's like, okay, say you get a $200 card out of the silver pack, you get $240 worth of Judge and Goldschmidt, you're at $440 gross. You're not dealing with a lot of volume, and I mean it's a lot of 50-cent sales if that. So it's like it's gonna take a lot of work and some luck to get back that $1,600. So I'm glad that I restrained. And I didn't spend anywhere. I didn't buy any inventory yesterday. I did. I bought one card and I failed. I always gloat about the wins, the bargain box wins. I took an L yesterday. I took an L and I'm going to share my L. So I like to share my losses with my wins. And I think that was the only, as far as my pickups in Janesville yesterday, I picked up some stuff for my PC, Cubs cards. I picked up my Secret Santa gift, which I'll be mailing out tomorrow. For the Couch People Christmas party, Secret Santa. And then I bought one. I saw it and I'm like, ooh. And then there were a couple other Cubs in there and I'm like, this will pay off the Cubs. Wah, wah. Nope, it will not. So I'll share that in a bit. Red Light 34. Hey, I thank you for the business. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who has ever made purchases, but especially here over the last few days, putting me to work. I got home from Janesville yesterday, sat in the recliner. My wife was, usually I'm a couch person, and I'm on the couch. My wife was being a couch people yesterday. She was on the couch when I got home. And so I sat in the recliner for 15 minutes, just kind of caught up on social media and email and stuff. And I'm like, well, I need to go ship. And I had 231 items to ship. And she's like, well, a long day for you. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm selling baseball cards. I'll take it. And I had some wrestling on in the background. I had Survivor Series / War Games. And it was somewhat entertaining. Leading up to it, I had one of the old Survivor Series. What was I watching before? I was watching the 1990 Survivor Series. That's the debut of The Undertaker. But then last night I was watching a different one. I can't remember which year. Anyway, Andrew says, I finally escaped the whole family out of the in-laws. We are safe and sound back home. Excellent. So I did not eat any leftovers Saturday. I gorged on Friday and took Saturday off from leftovers, but my mother-in-law brought more leftovers to the house yesterday, so I will have a feast later today, and I'm looking forward to it. Matt wants to know, will you be at the Green Bay Card Show? I will not. That'll be the Couch People Christmas party on December 10th. I had thought about, well, I can probably go up there and be back, but it would really be pulling me in both directions. Plus, my wife's going to be in Florida, so I'm on dog duty, so I cannot make it to Green Bay. Will not be in Green Bay on December 10th. Zach and Porter, what's happening? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Randy says retail select basketball is moving faster in my area than Prism and Optic basketball. Kind of weird. That is kind of strange. I've seen all of the above at my area stores. Prism has been moving. Like I'll see it one day and then the next it's gone. And then last time it's been a while. It's been a week since I've been to Walmart, and I did see some select on the shelf. I don't know if I've seen Optic though. Paul is in the house. What's happening? When OSU came on, it was time to go. Rich says, I did pull one from inventory for Secret Santa and needed to go back to do more for my victim. In the final box, I discovered I had a Goldie Chrome card and hello, $20 to the next Heritage Miners high number box. Very cool. I only found the one Judge. I'm sure I have more Topps Chrome from that pickup from the Big Rockford show last month. But I just haven't found that box. So hopefully I find it by March, whenever that deal ends, because I'm sure there are some because it was loaded with like refractors. Probably no Aaron Judge refractors, but I'm sure there was some Paul Goldschmidt refractors, and at least base. I haven't come across those. Let's see. Paul says, Dan says, how many boxes did you have out? Holy crap. How many boxes did I have out? I bet I had, let's see. I'm gonna try to count from what I have in the back of my SUV. So 1, 2, 3 across times 2, 6 across. I bet I had 25 monster boxes of quarter cards at the show yesterday. Let's see. Paul says, yeah, JV seemed a low attendance. Talking about Janesville. I don't know if the college games affected it or something else, but seemed like a lot of dealer-to-dealer deals, maybe even if said dealer didn't have a table. I did notice that. I'm going to talk about that. It did feel like, traffic was, I was happy with traffic. And I think back, and it might have been Paul I was talking to about this or somebody. I thought back, the November Madison show was crazy with attendance. But what show wasn't crazy with attendance in November of 2021? So I think we're at the point where this is going to be the norm. The traffic we saw in Janesville, I thought was really good. And that show has been well attended. I wasn't at the May show, but I was there in July, September, and yesterday. And it was well attended. My sales sucked. Not as bad as last week at Madison, but I did actually, you know what? I did okay. I still fell short, but I had 25 monster boxes, and I thought that there's just no diggers digging through the quarter boxes. So I want to talk about that. I'm going to get caught up in the chat, and I want to touch on that. I should write notes so I don't forget about these things. So we want to talk about my pickups. and my quarter strategy. And it's kind of funny. I talked a lot about my quarterback strategy early on, like when I first started doing shows regularly again in 2021. And I'm kind of back to that point. But I have some ideas floating around, and it's probably not what you think. Andrew says, just a Herman reminder for Secret Santa shipping out before Couch People Rip and Dip Christmas party. Jaden says, Bo, best wrestling faction, Four Horsemen, the NWO or DX. So I was a WWE fanboy. I did not grow up with the NWA because I'm a Yankee. I was into the NWO, but DX all the way. DX by far, and then I would go NWO number 2 for me, and then Four Horsemen. Of those three, if I had to rank those three, my own personal fandom, DX by far number 1. I hated WCW. I hate watched it. But it was entertaining, and the NWO was certainly very entertaining. But I was a DX guy. Let's see where are we at in the chat. Jenny's in the house. What's up? I'm going to be like Bo today, shipping all day. That is good. That's what we want. That means sales are fluid. Matt, good morning to you. Any chance you could run through your numbers, amount of listings, impressions, page views? Sure. So I'm just over 28,000 active listings. I was around when my sales started Tuesday. I think I was up to 29,300 active listings, and now I'm down to just over 28,000. So about 1,300 cards sold this week from the sale and out of the sale. So currently, I'm sitting a little over 28,000 active listings. My impressions are up 5% in the last 30 days. Just over 19 million impressions in the last 30 days. My page views are up 22%. Just about 44,000 page views in the last 30 days. My sales conversion is way up to 8.7% now. That is not sales sell-through rate. That's sales conversion rate based on the amount of page views to sales. So that's at 8.7%. That was 2 weeks ago. That was like 6.97%. So 8.7 is a really good number. So those are some of the numbers. Red Light 34 says 24. Herman says, good morning. What's up, Herman? Jenny says, I got my Secret Santa picked up yesterday at the show. Awesome. JMF Collectibles, good morning to you. Knock them down to 10 cents and people will load up. And that's one strategy I might do. But I've got some really good stuff in there that I'm not going to let go for 10 cents because I'll put it in my eBay store first. So I'll get into my strategy in a second. Let's see. Andrew says Four Horsemen started it all. I wouldn't say they started it all, because there's been factions going back to the early days of wrestling. They were kind of a forerunner to factions that came on later, though. I would agree. Let's see. Herman says, about to head out to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation in the theater. Oh, that's awesome. That is very cool. Let's see. I always remember National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation always aired the Sunday night of Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm sure that's, well, hell, it's on all the time now, but I'm sure it'll be on tonight. Let's see. Baseball card. What's up, Bronco in the house? That was the worst wrestling take ever. Come on, man. It's Four Horsemen first. Everybody else, who cares? No way. See, I was a Yankee WWE fanboy and DX all the way. John Words. What's up, John? That 70s Card Show. Good morning to you. So let's just dive right into my quarterback strategy. So some Easter eggs in the boxes lead to more purchases of the junk, but that hasn't been the case the last 2 shows. That has not been the case. I've had it loaded with, although one of my dealers who sets up at my Madison show found a Jason Tatum rookie, and he's like, this is a Jason Tatum rookie, and I'm like, no. And he's like, I'll give you $1 for it, and I'm like, no, you can have it for $0.25. It's a quarter box. So yeah, there are little Easter eggs, but I don't think there's just not a digging mentality at some of these at the monthly shows. I'll say, I think it's more prevalent at the weekend shows, at the larger shows. And I just don't think my strategy is conducive to these monthly shows. Am I going to change it up? Maybe a little bit. My thought process was I was going to branch out and maybe pick up another show during the month. But based on some of my sales the last couple shows, now Rockford, I killed it at Rockford. I mean, I made great money selling quarter cards at the church shows in Rockford. But my show in Madison last week sucked. Like worst sales day of any show I've done in the last 18 months. And yesterday was a disappointment. But it was still, I think I still made twice as much as what I made last week. That's how bad Madison was for me in my quarter boxes last Saturday. I had a bad day yesterday and it was still double what I made a week ago. And there's a lot of things that can go into that. I didn't set up in Madison for 8 months. February was the last show that I did in Madison. Madison was always my best show because I was the quarter box guy and that's why in Rockford, every month I'm there and I have the same customers and they'll fill a $50, $60 box, each time. And I think just not being persistent setting up in Madison, that hurt my sales yesterday. Location definitely had something to do with it because I was out in the mezzanine, but I only had 3 dealers. Bronco was next to me. Sheena was on the other side of me. So it was just us 3 dealers. Usually there's 7 or 8 dealers in the mezzanine. So I think that, only 3 dealers, traffic just didn't flow through there as much. So I think that had something to do with it. Janesville, I have not, 3 shows, I have not done well at any of the 3 shows. I think yesterday was probably my best show for the quarter boxes in Janesville. And it's kind of like location. Well, I've been in different I've basically been at every location in Janesville outside of in the middle, which I don't want to be in the middle. So the first show I was in the back corner and there was a lot of bargain boxes in July. And I think by the time the traffic flowed to me, they were bargain boxed out. So I think that was my worst of the 3 shows. And then for September, I wanted to be in the front hallway right at the main entrance, not because I was the first one there, but because my buddy Matt had some banging dollar boxes. And I'm like, I was all the way back there and I spent half the day at digging through his dollar boxes. So that was part of the reason. And I didn't do much better. So then yesterday, all the dealers were in the room. There were some late cancels. So I was against the back wall and I'm like, well, I'll just take this back wall. And as soon as people walk in, they'll see all those if they're looking for bargain boxes, they'll see me, boom, right as soon as they walk in. And I don't want to be, and then it's location's an optical illusion at shows because I'll always have dealers say, how come all the buyers are down there and there's nobody here? But if you go to the other side, it looks like all the customers are on the other side. So it's kind of an optical illusion. And the outer reaches, I looked in and it's like, man, everybody's in the middle of the room. Why is everybody in the middle of the room? Well, there's more dealers. There's more tables in the middle of the room. Look down this hall. Look down this aisleway. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably 12 tables, 12 dealers in this one aisleway. On the back wall where I was, there was 1, 2, 3. There were bargain boxes. There were unopened wax. And then William had just kind of a little bit of everything, showcase and some other stuff. So if you weren't looking for wax or bargain boxes, you probably weren't going to be walking that back wall because it was basically the entire wall minus 2 tables was bargain boxes and unopened wax. And if that's not what you're looking for, you're not going to traverse that area. So my quarter boxes, I did a fill a box and I had somebody fill a $50 box, which was good. A $30 box, which is good. And then I had a lot of like small transactions, like people just didn't want to dig. And this is like the age old, well, do you sort of Hell no, I'm not going to take the time to sort. I had 25 boxes. 25, say and they're full. So they're 3,200, so 2,000 cards. And some boxes have more than that because they're not sleeved. But we'll just say, a conservative estimate, I can do the math without a calculator, 2,000 times 25, that's 50,000. Do you know how long it takes to sort 50,000 cards? A long time. So I'm not going to be sorting them in teams and players and sets or anything like that. You just got to dig. So that's out of the question. Doing other shows out of the question. Because it's just not worth it. Paying for tables and, basically breaking even. Yeah, I'm getting rid of cards. I guess that's a win, but not enough. So I think, and I'm not doing another show. I think it's not confirmed yet, but it's still tentative for the next Janesville show, potentially January 14th. So I will be there, but that's about 2 months away. So I think what I'm going to do is football and basketball. I'm going to bulk them out. I'm going to sell them. Hey, these are the quarter boxes. I'm going to do it like a video or take some pictures, put it on Facebook Marketplace, $100 a box, which there's some really good stuff. So I think that's a hell of a deal for 2,000 cards or more. If they're not sleeved, there might be 2,500 cards or maybe even 3,000 cards in a box. So somebody else can take on the quarter boxes. For football and basketball, I don't want those. Baseball, I'll probably make some of like Panini in Chrome because I can't scan those. But all and some base stuff. But that'll be eBay store inventory. And then I'll just refresh. I've got plenty more quarter boxes, and I'll just start fresh in January with brand new quarter boxes. But just keep it limited to what I set up. So I think that's kind of my plan moving forward is doing that. So let's go into the chat as I ramble on. Let's see. Herman says Roku has a channel now with all the Christmas classics. Interesting. John says, I never dig. I don't condone the diggers, their time, their money. Paul says Janesville seems like a better spot for $1, $2, $5, $10 boxes than quarter boxes. It does. It's I don't know why. And what's strange to me is Janesville is smack dab between Rockford and Madison. And it's a completely different clientele from both Madison and Janesville. Yeah, I see, Paul comes to the shows. I see other people that are at both shows. My first sale yesterday was from a guy that always buys from me in Rockford. So there is some crossover, but for the large part, it's a lot of new faces. And it's just strange to me that I used to have great success out of quarter boxes in Madison. I continue to have amazing success at quarter boxes in Rockford. But for whatever reason, it's not Janesville is not a quarter box card show. And that's okay. Terry, what's happening? Good morning to you. Zach says, you buy diamond quarter boxes in bulk, but the difference is you get to dig at your home. John says penny boxes, I guess. Let's see. Jenny says, as I dug for twins in 50-cent boxes yesterday, dealer said I should sort my twins next show. I said no, because I prefer the unsorted. I buy more than just twins. If a card catches my eye, I enjoy the hunt. Please don't sort. I'm the same way. Like I prefer unsorted, and it kind of depends. I even enjoy like football, basketball being mixed in if there's good football and basketball. If I have to like flip through a bunch of junk, then it's like on to the next table. So there's a fine line between my hunting strategy. John says again, time. A show is a limited amount of time. I have forever to sort through stuff I buy in bulk. Amen to that. Paul says yours were at least sorted by sport. There were too many dealers that are completely unorganized, and it's a major turnoff before you even start. I agree with that. There was one dealer across from me, and I didn't catch his name, and I haven't seen him at other shows before, but he was like super sorted, and he had them sorted by like set, and they were modern. So I was looking for Topps Chrome, going hunting for Goldschmidt and Judge. Unfortunately, I didn't find any, but I also didn't start looking until afternoon because I wasn't really looking around. I wasn't searching for those. So either he picked them before he set up at the show or they were, grabbed at 8 a.m. There were quite a few people walking through the show floor at 8. I mean, my first sale was at like 8:30. It was a really early arriving crowd. There were a lot of people. In fact, I was only a quarter set up. I had 8 boxes probably. I don't even know if I had 8 boxes set up, like ready to go. And my first customer was already pulling up a chair, and he walked up, and I'm like, "What? You looking for any sport?" And I was like, I start from one end, and I have baseball, so I have it like, okay, here's baseball, and then you go into football, then you go into basketball, and then I had my soccer at the very end. So I was on the far end working baseball, and I had football, basketball on the other end. And he's like, "I'm looking for football and basketball." So then I, kind of started on baseball, and then for him, I opened up the football and basketball, and then worked my way into the middle. So that was, I was a third of the way set up, and I had my first customer digging. Let's see. Terry says a sorted 25-cent box becomes a fit. Absolutely. If I'm sorting my bargain boxes, I'm raising the prices. That's a great point. Like if I put time into it, the price goes up. Tyler says, what's up, Tyler? Some of the best $1 to $5 boxes I've seen for football in Janesville yesterday. Awesome. That's good to hear. John says, Terry is right. If you wanted sorted, then you'll have to pay up. Jenny says, random thought. Have you thought about doing a YouTube sale during winter months? Might drive some traffic. I have, and I think you have somebody's mentioned that before. I just don't know. I have too much. I love, and here's why. Here's why I dismiss it. I love eBay because it's so easy. I can push play, walk away on eBay. And most importantly, they do all my paperwork. So it's almost like having a secretary handling all my numbers within eBay. That's why I'm totally cool with eBay fees, because all I need to do is print my monthly reports and then give them to my accountant. I don't have to do any work. I love numbers. I hate numbers. I love numbers when they're fun. I don't love, sales numbers and having to turn that stuff over to the accountant. And I would have to, that would be more work for me. And with YouTube, it's not streamlined. Like, you may not know this about me, but I'm not really organized. So it just sounds like a disaster. Doing a YouTube, it would drive numbers to YouTube, but is it really worth it? Probably not. There's a lot of organization. I'd be juggling eBay. It just sounds like fortunately, I do enough business on eBay that I don't need to find another avenue to make sales. Would I like to? Sure. I've got the inventory, but I just don't want to deal with the headache of the organization. The organization is probably the biggest key. And then, I'd have to tabulate all the numbers and make a separate spreadsheet for my accountant. And it just, there's way too much work. And it would be on like junk. I mean, I wouldn't be putting like $100 cards on YouTube. It'd be like a bargain box sale. So is it really worth $3 here and $6 there? Nah. So that's why. And that's why I've dismissed I'd love to do it. I just don't have the time or patience or organization to do something like that. Boston Smoke, what's happening? Good morning to you. Zach says, what's Zach say? Sorted by sport is preferred for me. I agree with that. Sometimes I'm in the mood and if it's all over the place, I'm cool with it. But I prefer, because I'm a baseball guy and like, there's not too many cards that I can pull out of a bargain box as a win out of football and basketball. Every once in a while I get lucky. That Jordan insert I pulled out of a $1 box that sold for 110. That was good. That was dumb luck. I didn't know that was 100. the funny thing is, and we're going to get into this when I show off what I picked up yesterday. I don't know. Typically, I don't, when I pull out a dollar card and it sells for 100 or Acuna sells for 250, which, oh, I've got another story that I got to tell. I don't know that like these comp at whatever price. I'm just taking a game. Like it's $1. It's Michael Jordan. I know I can sell it for $3 and maybe I break even or make $1. But what if it's a $20 card? And I did not, when I pulled that Michael Jordan insert out of the dollar box, there's no way in hell I thought that would sell for over $100. I would have been happy with 10. So I was really elated with 110. So sometimes I get lucky out of those. So speaking of that, so the dealer, Steve, that I pulled the Acuna super short print out of the quarter box several months ago, that card sold for, what did that card sell for? 250, I think. It was a 25-cent purchase and it sold for $250. And we joke about it every time we see each other, which is usually twice a month. And yesterday he goes, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to give you crap about that Acuna." He's like, I buy, and he basically does a lot of what I do, buys in bulk. And sometimes he gets lucky. And I think he buys more than I do. So he gets lucky more than I get lucky. And he's like, "You're a Cubs fan." He's like, "Why did this card sell for so much?" It was a Chris Bryant super short print, not even a rookie. I think it was a 2016. And he's like, "I knew it was like when I pulled it out, I knew it was like a short print." He's like, with like a day left, it was the bidding was up to $164. He bought this in a bulk buy. So he probably paid a few pennies for it, or a penny in bulk. And he goes, "Man, the bidding got up to $164. And I was happy with that." And he goes, "In the last 60 seconds, it got bid up." And then he shows me the listing. It sold for $1,064. And he's like, "Why did this sell for that much?" And I looked and I said, "I have no idea." I'm like, "It's obviously a super short print. And it doesn't even look like it. It's 2016, I think." And he goes, "The buyer paid." Like the next morning, it ended on whatever night it was. And the next morning, they paid the $1,064. Like, holy. So he's like, "So I don't think I'm going to give you crap about Acuna anymore." Let's see. John says, "If anyone ever needs junk wax era of any sport, please put me on speed dial." Jenny says, "What was the weather forecast yesterday here?" It was 50 degrees. Show was packed. I was surprised. Yeah, I think when I left the show, it was 55 degrees. So it was very nice. And the show was busy. Traffic was good. I was very happy with the traffic. I thought traffic was up. Let's see. Andrew says, "Is soccer selling right now because of the 2022 World Cup?" Let me tell you something, brother. So I had my soccer box, and I think it was the last Goodwill pallet. There was some soccer, a row of soccer, and I'm looking through, and there's Pulisic and Mason Greenwood. I've heard of him. I don't know if he's any good. Ronaldo I've heard of. Who else? Jude Bellingham. And the Jude Bellingham was a rookie gold cup. And I'm like, ooh, I'm in the money. It's like a $2 card. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time. That's going in the quarter box. So I put all these in the quarter box. And I'm thinking, man, it's just going to, my quarter box, soccer, World Cup, it's going to be crazy. I did have a few people look through the soccer box. And I sold a few bucks out of the soccer box. My buddy Kyle, who's a dealer at the show, sets up at Madison. He's like, "Yeah, I got to come over and look at your soccer box." So it's towards the end of the show, and I've had a crap show. And I'm like, and Kyle buys in bulk sometimes. And I'm like, I bet he'll buy this box from me. So I'm like, "Hey, would you be interested in buying my whole soccer box? It's full. It's a 3,200 count box and it's full, mostly unsleeved. So probably at least 2,500 cards. Do $100. And he's like, I've got soccer. I've bought a bunch of bulk, and I know exactly what he's going through because I'm in the same position. I'm like, I'll bring it over. You can look through it. So Craig, shout out to Craig. He's another dealer that does the Janesville and the Madison show. So I'm walking back to my table. He's like, how are you going to sell anything when you're not at your table? That's like the joke. People joke because I complain about my sales, but I'm never at my table. So I walk back by and I'm like taking the sales to other people. So I take the monster box over to Kyle. He flips through it. I go shopping. This is at the end of the day. And I come back around. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I have too much stuff. He's like, I think I'm going to have to pass. He's like, I put the box back on your table. Like, okay. I'm like, I just want to get rid of it. Like, I'll give you a deal, $60. He's like, he's like, okay. And I'm like, well, I'll probably give you some of that cash back because there's some stuff he has some stuff and he has a great, and it's sorted by sport. But he had some awesome, like just a random assortment of like $5 cards, $10 cards. And I'm like, there's some cards in here that I'm in the Secret Santa, Couch People Christmas Party, Secret Santa. You've got some cards in here that I'm going to send off to my Secret Santa. And there's a Cubs card in here. So, maybe we do a cash trade deal. So, so he's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And I'll give you more in more in trade value or whatever, however that works. Like, we'll work that out. So I got rid of my soccer box. Let me jump out so I can show you what I can't show you everything. Actually, I can only show you one card because the rest is for my Secret Santa. So he had, let's see. Okay, so that, yeah, because I think I picked up 4 or 5 cards. I can't show the others. But he had a Pedro Strop. I don't even know. Topps VIP event from 2019. It's a Heritage 1-of-1 stamped VIP Pedro Strop. He had a $20 sticker on that. And I'm like, heck yeah. Build a Heritage Rainbow. And then, like I said, I can't show off the others. So I got that. And then I got, I think, 4 cards for my Secret Santa. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 cards. So I got that card and 4 cards for my Secret Santa. And then he gave me $40 cash. And I think his sticker price on all of this was 20, 25, 30, 40, 45. He had like $45 sticker price and got it in trade for basically 20. So $40 cash and those 5 cards. I was really happy with that trade. So shout out. Thank you, Kyle. So I showed you the Pedro. Let's get into the chat and I can show off some more. So soccer was kind of selling. I don't know how other dealers, I just ignore soccer. So I wasn't paying attention. I will say Zach Wilson I had 2 dealers say, I actually sold Zach Wilson cards today. And I'm like, I thought he would be ice cold. He's not even starting today. He's not starting Sunday for the Jets against the Bears. And I don't know if Justin Fields is playing today either. Let's see. Zach says price of the brick is going up. John says spray dome deer scent near your table, attract the locals. I did have another. I had a customer yesterday that they're like, yeah, I missed the Madison show because I was deer hunting. So that is a thing. And I know people joking, and a lot of people were joking last week at Madison, like, yeah, I don't think too many card guys are out deer hunting. In Wisconsin, you would be surprised. There were a lot of card guys out deer hunting last weekend. Let's see. Andrew says, and set up your table to look like a deer blind. Hey, if I was like a deer hunter, that would be a good, but I'm like, I've only hunted once. Now, like all my friends hunted. I grew up, in rural Illinois, so like a lot of people hunted. I never went deer hunting. We would like I would go like check out deer blinds with my friends, get them ready for like hunting season, stuff like that. I never actually hunted, and I did. I wrote a column in a newspaper in Macomb, a weekly column, and it was basically like there was really no like subject. It was just kind of like random columns, whatever, kind of like this show. It was just completely random. You never knew what was coming the next column. So a friend of mine who was an insurance agent is still Alan Thompson, no relation, big hunter. And he always had poker. His insurance office, the back was like a giant garage. And he would have weekly Wednesday night poker, and then he'd always fix up like venison and Rocky Mountain oysters, which are testicles, cow tongue, like just all kinds of random stuff. So we were at Wednesday night poker, and he's like, and I'm not like an outdoorsman. I don't think that surprises anyone. I'm not an outdoorsman, but I have like, I'll eat the meat, make me some deer jerky, and hell yeah, I'll eat the crap out of it. So he big hunters of everything, but duck hunters. So he's like, why don't you write a column? We'll take you hunting and write a column about the experience. And I'm like, that's a great idea. That's a really good idea. So I had to waking up super early was nothing new. Working in morning radio, was up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. I have like no camo, I think it was camo and duck hunting because you're in a duck blind on like over the lake. So we're in camo. So I'm like wearing the most, one of my buddies like gives me a camo jacket. So I look like the noob. I was totally the noob. We go out and they make breakfast like in the duck blind on like a portable little grill, and we have some scrambled eggs and toast and all that crap. And then we looked in the sky for like 3 hours. It was the most boring adventure I've ever been on. We did not see a single bird in the sky. So I told him, I'm like, this sucks. You guys do this like for fun? Screw this. So that's the only time I've ever went hunting, duck hunting. Let's see. Where are we at? Jenny says she totally agrees on eBay fees, worth it for work they do, even the convenience of hitting ship label, definitely, without a doubt. Let's see, where are we at? Paul, I skipped way ahead. Let's see. Oh, here we are. John says boarding is complete. John's on a plane. Wish I could stick around for the internet crashing. Hey, we're 58 minutes in, and I've still got the blue light on my thingy. Let's see. Zach says instead of both selling on Whatnot, he would be selling on Not Now, as his feed would crash. Paul says couple dealers had $5 and $10 priced as marked bins. Those are fine too. You're at least sorted by quality in some regard. Mark Hoyle is in the house. What's up, Mark? Let's see. Zach says Jude Bellingham is a fantastic sports name. It is. It is a great Joseph. Joe, what's up, Joe? Joe's been a dealer at a few of my shows. Good morning to you, sir. Zach says that saying has to be the card version of working hard or hardly working. Let's see. Paul says, speaking of trade value, made a trade with a dealer, walk away 5 feet, and he sells the card I traded to the dealer. Hey, that's awesome. Mason Greenwood currently under house arrest. Oh, well, that's why his cards didn't sell. This the breaks wants to know what the trade was. Harlan says Fields is out for today. That's good. I mean, that's bad for quality of football by the Chicago Bears today, but it's good for a Bears loss. We want the Bears to lose to get a top 3 pick. Let's see. Zach says Fields won't play. Zach Wilson will be Panini's buyback. Dan says, what was the vibe in the room about the Packers? Janesville's an interesting market because it's south enough that there's a lot of Bears fans in Janesville. A lot of Packers fans, a lot of Bears fans. It's a mix. There wasn't really any. It was a straight, I hope Paul's still in here. Paul, what was the vibe for like, and Paul was walking the floor throughout the morning. So I'd like to get his standpoint because I didn't really get a vibe on anything outside of a couple of guys said Zach Wilson sold, and I'm like, that's strange. But I thought there would be hype about Judge Goldschmidt, the buyback. I didn't hear a single person talk about it. I don't recall anybody talking about the Packers or the Bears for that matter. When I was digging through like a $10 box, $5 and $10 box, I did hear there was a kid, probably late teens, early 20s, talking about looking for Fields cards. But I didn't catch like a vibe from anybody. And I'm also selling quarter cards. So I'm not into the like what's hot. Sometimes people come up, do you have any Wander Franco in here? And it's like, no. So I'm not really, from a dealer standpoint, I don't catch the customers that are looking for what's hot. And there really wasn't much. I didn't catch any sports talk really. A couple people mentioned the Michigan-Ohio State game. But they're really, now that you bring that up, it's like, you know what? It was just a strange vibe. What were we talking about? I don't know. Let's see. Where are we at? The break says, was the buyer's last name Wilson? We need a Bambi patch card. The only deer I land is Rob Deer. Where's Bronco at? Bronco has a Rob Deer shirt that he wore to the Madison Card Show last weekend. Adam Lee says, I have an eBay store, 90% 90s. Can I plug the store name? Absolutely. You can even link it. I'll add you as a moderator. Don't invite sex bots though. I wield you with the hammer. So you can drop your link in the chat. Geraldo had an interesting trip to Janesville back in the day. Really? Geraldo as in Rivera? If that's the case, drop a link because I'm curious now. Okay, so here's what Paul says. New Packers, you'll have team collectors buy $1 to $10 stuff. Saw a lot of guys wanting 96 Super Bowl team guys or 60s Super Bowl guys, but way more modern guys wanted QBs and such. Interesting. So there's Adam's eBay store, Go Golf 27. Rick McCarty, what's up? Good morning to you. Found a DeGrom 2015 Topps Heritage 51 rookie yesterday in a quarter box. Awesome. Hopefully it wasn't my quarter box. No. Actually, I do hope it wasn't my quarter box. So I lost. I played the game and lost. Not with my gas tank. I won that battle. But I was in a random $5 and $10 box. Let's see. Let's see. This, and this. These I can't show. So I did. That came in the mail. Okay. So I was in my buddy John. John Boomer sets up in Madison, although he will not be set up in December. But he was in Janesville set up. Let's see. So here is, I'm going to open that link in a new tab. When Geraldo comes to town, KKK fight, put Janesville in National. Oh, this is like fairly recent. Interesting. Oh, wait. It was August 1992. Okay, so it was not fairly recent. Interesting. I'm going to read that. So I'm looking through John's stuff. It's the end of the day. John always gives me great deals. Here, I'll take this out of the top loader because the top loader is kind of scratched up. But he had a Charcer Burks Mega Box, first Bowman Mega Box blue refractor, numbered out of 150, auto, Charcer Burks. No price on it. And I'm like, what do you got on this? And he's like, $5. And I'm like, hell freaking yeah. So I put that in my pile. And then he had Ed Howard, shimmer, pink or fuchsia shimmer, numbered out of 199, $5. Ed Howard's down, but it's like, $5. I love Bowman. And then he had an Aramis Ottoman. This is all scratched up, and I think he's repriced this a few times. Aramis Ottoman, first purple chrome refractor auto, numbered out of what, 250. I'm like, how much you got on this? He's like, $5. And I'm like, hell freaking yeah. So I got those. And then I see this. So how much did, so 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, yeah. So I got those for $5 each. And then I see this. And I just opened, this is from 2021, and I just opened a Bowman Mega Box recently, and I pulled a Bobby Witt Jr. Mega Box refractor out of it. But it wasn't this image. And I'm like, ooh, this is the image variation. Because I pulled out of a dollar box a few months ago, I pulled a Marcelo Meyer Mega Box image variation, and it sold for like $50. And I'm like, hey, he's even hotter than Marcelo Meyer. This might be $100 card. I'm going to take a chance. This is, I think that Michael Jordan might be a $10 card. It's $110. Bobby Witt Jr. might be a $100 card. It's a $5 card. No. So I don't comp when I'm at tables. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a stab. I'm going to gamble on this. And I lost. So I paid $10 for this. And I went back to my table a little bit later and I looked it up. It is not an image variation. I think this is just the Chrome Mega Box. What I opened was the Bowman, regular Bowman Mega Box. And this is the Chrome from later in the year. And there's a bunch on eBay for $5 shipped. So I'm like, well, I guess it's going in my eBay store for $5 shipped. And I count that as you can't win them all. So I paid $25 for those 4 cards. And then, I'll net a couple bucks on the Bobby Witt. So I got those from John. Let's see. Zach followed Adam. Let's see. Bronco says, all of my duck hunting happened on NES. Great game. My first purchase of yesterday was this. Now, I don't know if John, that 70s Card Show, is still here. But John knows I'm a big Brian Gray fan from Leaf. And I love Leaf cards. I think they're super cool. So I picked this out of the $10 box. Drew Gray, he's a pitching prospect for the Cubs. It's not in focus, but look at that beautiful patch, auto. It's numbered out of 99. And I know some people are like, well, you don't know if the patch is real. I don't care if the patch is real. It looks cool. I don't care if that was worn by Joe Smith from Janesville, Wisconsin. That's a damn cool patch. I don't care if Drew Gray actually wore this at any point, whether it was in a game or if it was in a freaking closet at Leaf headquarters. I don't give a damn. It's a freaking cool patch. And I like it, damn it. I don't even know what the back says. The authenticity of this autograph and patch are guaranteed by Leaf Trading Cards. So they guarantee it's a patch. They don't guarantee what it's from, but I don't care. It's a freaking awesome card. And I don't give a damn if it's Leaf or if they just pulled it off the rack at JCPenney. I don't care. It's cool. And I like it. And I thought it was worth $10. I got that from William, who sets up at some of my shows. Let's see. I got this. Speaking of Leaf, I actually went on eBay and bought a Leaf card, which came in the mail yesterday. Again, I don't give a damn what this patch is. And it kind of actually, when I look closer, it kind of looks like a Phillies patch. But I don't care. It's a cool looking card. Richard Gallardo, another pitching prospect for the Cubs. And I think I paid $9 shipped for this. Richard Gallardo, Leaf Trinity. I think it's cool. This is not serial numbered, but I don't care. It's a cool card. And I like it. And it's in my own personal collection where it will stay. And then, so back to my card show pickups. I was walking around at the beginning of the show, and here I am. And I think Bronco made a joke about this recently where he's like, you're the guy that looks at a card 4 times and says, hey, I like that card. I'm going to come back and buy it. I was that guy yesterday. And he had some awesome Cubs stuff in his showcase, including, and when I don't care if there's something I like, I don't care if it's not priced. This card was not priced. Some of John's stuff that I bought from him wasn't priced. And I just asked. And I think it's different because I know these guys. Well, I didn't know this guy that I bought it from, but he seemed like a nice guy. He turned out to be a really nice guy, gave me a good deal. But I don't care if it's a card I really like and potentially want to buy. I don't care about asking for price. But if I see a bunch of unpriced cards, I'm probably not going to ask unless it's something that I really like and think I might be able to get a good deal on. So he had some stuff, and I don't think most of it was priced, which again, I doesn't really bother me. It doesn't. But he had this Rafael Morel yellow first chrome auto. Rafael is the brother of Christopher Morel, and he's not really like a top prospect, but again, I think it's a cool card. And I asked him the price, and he said, I'd probably do 50 on it. And I'm like, okay, like 50 is a little more than I want to pay, but it is a really cool card. I'll probably come back. And I did, and I looked at it again. I'm like, oh, you still got that Morel. And then I noticed he had a $10 slab box, and he had a lot of Cubs in there. He had some Nico Horner rookies for $10. And like, okay. So I came back around like maybe again. And then finally at the end of the show, I'm like, okay. So I look through and I'm like, I'm going to pull out one of the Nico Horner rookies in a slab and ask for a bundle deal. Do a little bundle. So he had a Nico Horner Topps Chrome rookie PSA 9 in his $10 box. And I said, I'll do 50 on the Morel, and will you throw this in? You know, I'll do 50 for the two. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. He's like, I was going to mention that when you were looking through those earlier. And I'm like, done deal. So basically I paid $40 for this, which I was happy with. And I paid 10 for this, which, you know, I probably would have paid 10 anyway, even if he didn't have this Morel. It's like, oh, $10 for Topps Chrome rookie PSA 9 of Nico Horner. Yeah, that's an easy deal. So those were my pickups, and I was happy with not all my pickups. I got 4 other cards that I can't show. Somebody that's a part of the couch people will be receiving these. 1, 2. They're going to get these 4 cards plus some other random stuff that I've opened recently. So I'll get those mailed out tomorrow. So that was the Janesville Card Show. So I wrote some notes. Did I tackle every subject? Pickups, I showed off my pickups. I talked about my quarterback strategy, and I talked about the Chris Bryant SSP. So that was my takeaway from the Janesville Card Show. I was happy. I didn't quite meet my goal in sales dollars. I fell just a little bit short. I thought traffic was great though. And it's from my last 2 shows that I've set up. It's like, I need to alter my strategy a bit. You know, I'm not going to go away from doing quarter boxes. I'm still going to set up. I probably won't set up in December in Madison because it's probably going to be a sellout again. So I won't need to fill any tables. So I won't set up in Madison. So the next show I'll do is if there's another show in Janesville in January, I'll do that. But in the meantime, in the next 2 months, I think I'm going to try to blow out. I do have another bulk common lot that I need to get rid of, sell that, and then I'll work on getting rid of some of my quarter boxes. So that's kind of the plan moving forward. And then I have plenty of inventory for my eBay store out of my quarter boxes. I mean, there's like 2 Bowman boxes. That's nothing but like first Bowmans from the last couple of years. It's not like superstar caliber, but it could be next year. You never know. That's what, especially like 2021 and 2022 Bowman, like there could be the next Julio Rodriguez in terms of hobby value in the mix in those boxes. So that's kind of the fun. It's like, I almost don't want to put those in quarter boxes or get rid of them. Just put them in a box, save them for a rainy day. And hey, this card's now worth $5. Let's see. Zach says 1990 Leaf is a GOAT set from my era. I agree with that. Brian Gray can guarantee you paid for it, and that is about it. I had to do that for John as he ascends in the clouds. Adam says, but any criticism about my store setup would be much appreciated by anyone here. You know what? Your store setup for eBay, I don't even have a store setup. It's just, I just list, and I have categories, store categories, but I haven't been updating them in the last year. So I think it's fine. Just keep listing. As long as you list on a frequent basis, like on a regular basis, and you have good prices, eventually those sales come. Dan says the practice of putting numbers on baseball uniforms started with the Yankees and Indians. Ooh, we're going to end this on trivia. Started with the Yankees and Indians in what year? Man, I have no idea. I'm going to say 1927. That's my guess. Anybody else have a guess? When did baseball uniforms start having numbers? Oh, I was close. Ooh, I was close. 1929. There's Uncle Rich. Boom. Uncle Rich knew. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll be back on. If you are new here, I go live every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Weekends are kind of a crapshoot whenever I wake up and decide to start moving around. And in today's case, when I get my Wi-Fi up and working, and when I go get my coffee. So I will be back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Let's see. I will be live. Next weekend I will not be live on Saturday. I've got the Club 400 Christmas party this coming Friday night. So I'm looking forward to that. Brennan Davis and Cole Franklin will be our guests at the Club 400 Christmas party. And so I'm gonna get the new Heritage Miners card signed by Brennan Davis. I've got a bunch of Brennan Davis autographs, but it's like, ooh, this Heritage looks great signed. So I'll bring a Heritage Miners of Davis. So I will go live on Friday morning, and then I'll drive down to Lake in the Hills later in the day. So I will not be live Saturday morning, but I can review the Club 400 Christmas party next Sunday. So that's the plan of attack. So have a great Sunday. Go Bears. Actually, don't go Bears. I'm just rooting for a competitive game that the Bears end up losing so we can get a high draft pick and hopefully get maybe Will Anderson at pick number 3. Randy, what's happening? I'm new. I've been enjoying this very much. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you joining. Appreciate the comments. Thanks so much. So have a great Sunday, and we will chat again tomorrow morning.